Sometimes learning from the mistakes of others is the best thing we could possibly do. So today I'm going to share with you 7 things I see agents doing that are absolutely killing their business. I meet with a lot of different agents throughout the day, throughout the week, and one of the things that I found is there are certain things that agents that are failing right now are doing that top agents are not. I had an example this past week where I had an agent came in, was talking about all the things that were wrong with the market, and then they didn't even talk about what the activities they were doing, but they talked about all the things that were wrong with the market. And 1 hour later, I was sitting with our top producer who had done $64 million in the last 3 months, and she had a completely different attitude, as you can imagine. So what I want to do today is I want to go through, talk about the things that I see agents doing that are probably killing their business. And the first thing is this, is that they're waiting. They're waiting on interest rates to come down. They're waiting on the right time to make phone calls. They're waiting on opportunities to change. They're waiting on the market to get good again. Whatever it is, they're just waiting. They're not taking action. Every single time in every area of my life where I've wanted to see improvement that I waited on things to get right, they never get right. It is a product of us taking action and beginning to, instead of waiting, begin to take and control the things we can control. You can control the number of phone calls you can make. You can control the amount of activity you do. You can control the amount of value you bring to the marketplace. Control your controllables. Quit waiting and start taking action, and everything will begin to move in the right direction. The second thing I see agents doing that are failing right now is they're making excuses. They're talking about the things, again, that they can't control instead of just taking that action. What are you making excuses about? Are you blaming things on interest rates? Are you saying that, man, if interest rates just went down 2 points, that would really help, or 1 point? What is it that you're making those excuses about? Are you making excuses that, well, I'm just so busy with everything that's going on that you're not taking the time, whether it be early in the morning or late in the afternoon, to make those prospecting calls that you're doing? Are you making excuses that you're just too busy with other things going on? Are you making excuses about things that you don't know how to do? Those excuses really are what's holding you back. We're living in a time where there are no excuses about not having the knowledge, because all you got to do is Google something and you can learn about it, or go to YouTube and you'll see a video on how to do something. We're also not in a place where we can't make the excuse that we don't have time, because what we prioritize, we will see some results in. So what is it you're doing to set your schedule up instead of making excuses? You see, when you stop making excuses and you start taking action, you build momentum. Momentum then leads into opportunities in your business that you didn't even see were available. The next thing I see agents doing that is killing their business is they're talking too much. There's a reason why you were given 2 ears and 1 mouth, and if you use that and you were to listen twice as much as we talked, we'd probably be in a better position. A lot of times what I see agents doing is they're trying to make calls, or they're trying to talk to people about what they want to talk about, instead of understanding what it is that the buyers and the sellers and their clients really truly do need. Become someone that asks good questions and listens. Become someone that asks these questions in a way that leads you to an understanding of exactly what it is that they need or want, and then provide that value to them. So what is it that you're doing? Are you just out there, I'm number one, look at me? Or are you out there noticing other people, noticing your ideal clients, listening for what the clues they're giving you for what they need, and then providing that value? When you switch that up and you stop talking so much and you start listening more, everything else begins to change. The next thing I see agents making a mistake doing is they're worrying about irrelevant things. Now, some of these things are not irrelevant. Some of these things we have to have on our radar, but I'll promise you, the buyer or the seller that you're going to talk to today could care less about whether NAR has decided that they're going to allow 0%, zero commissions for the buyer side on a listing agreement. What is it that we're talking about? Add the value to the people that are right in front of you. Don't worry about the macro things that you personally cannot control. We will make adjustments. We will plan for these things, absolutely. But today, what is it today that you can do that can add value to your ideal clients? Focus in on those things instead of all these other things. Listen, there are macro things that are going on. We can't control interest rates. So why are we focusing in on interest rates instead of focusing in on how interest rates affect those buyers or those sellers that we're working with? Decide to not focus on the big things that you can't control. Focus on the things you can control. And the biggest thing you can control is the value you bring to the marketplace. Don't run scared. Don't plan for things that may or may not happen. Begin to act on a daily basis by adding as much value as possible, and I promise you, your buyers and sellers are going to appreciate it. Next mistake I see agents that are failing make is is that they're planning too much. You're talking about what you're going to do instead of doing it. It's great. Listen, I love goals. I love having plans of action or things that I'm dreaming about that will to come. But dreams are just that unless you take action and you don't put something towards making those things happen. So what is it that you're doing on a daily basis? Are you talking about the calls you're going to make, or are you making the calls? Are you talking about your future goals, or are you taking action to reach those goals? Are you talking about the fact that you're going to hold an open house in a few weeks, or are you holding an open house? Stop talking so much, stop planning so much, and start taking action. When you stop planning so much and you get yourself an active plan, because we absolutely have one, and you back that down to daily activities and you track those daily activities, everything else begins to fall into place. Daily activities are what lead to long-term success. I hope you understand this. Hear me correctly. Don't stop planning, but stop talking about planning so much and start taking more action. The next mistake I see agents make is not keeping in touch. Now, I've been guilty of this in my past business, where there were times where I just had in my head, oh, well, they're going to buy in a few months. And then all of a sudden, I just keep thinking about them, but I don't talk to them and I don't keep in touch with them. And all of a sudden, when I do finally do that, they're under contract with another agent, or they walked into an open house and they wrote a contract on an offer without even thinking about me. You see, sometimes what happens is even though we're thinking about those clients all the time, unless we're communicating with them, we don't know that they're thinking about us. So what is it that you're doing to keep in touch with the active buyers, the future sellers that you have, and those prospects that you're nurturing along this journey they have, so to speak? The average person looks at 10 houses, and it takes them about 10 weeks to go through and find the ideal home. When you find a hot buyer, stay in touch with them. When you have a seller that says they're going to list in the next year, stay in touch with them on a regular basis. The biggest mistake I see agents make is they stop keeping in touch and things fall through the cracks. Last mistake I see agents make that are failing right now is they're spending time with inactive people. We will drift towards the people that we spend the most time with. Who is it that you're spending time with? And this is a choice. Who is it that you're spending time with? Are you at the office talking to other non-productive people, or are you out there inviting some of these top producing agents to lunch to understand what it was they did when they were at your level in the business? You see, when we begin to spend time with the people that are active, we become more active. We all know the old saying that we're the average of the 5 people spend the most time with. Think about who those 5 people are for you. Are they people that are in the direction you're wanting to move? If they aren't, start making some adjustments. Now is the time to spend the time with the people that you want to be more like. The beauty of this business is that we can always course correct. If you've been making some of these mistakes, now's the time to take action and begin to move in a different direction. Course correct now so that you don't have more pain in the future. When we make these changes, when we focus in on the things that we can do to control what we can control and add the most value, I promise your business can't help but grow. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.